Hey, Numismatics, welcome back. Yes, it's been a while. $58 silver today. Holy moly. Well, do you guys think it's going to keep on rising? It's a possibility. And I listen to a lot of stuff like the news all over the place. Politics. I listen to real estate mindset. I listen to silver stacker channels. I listen to a lot of stuff and absorb as much information as I can. Some people say, silver could possibly hit $80 to $95 towards the end of next year. Some of the banking systems believe they think that silver can get that high just because now it's a strategic metal and, has a lot of industrial applications. And it's really, really in demand for industry right now. But when you go to a coin show, are people buying the silver? From my experience, not really. They're used to paying $20 an ounce, right? Now it's at nearly 60. They don't want to pay $60 an ounce, and it's really close to 60. That's just me. My last show wasn't that great. I had some personal matters that happened. And personally, I was just extremely exhausted. I was quiet. I just wasn't Mr. Salesman. And that's okay. Will I do more coin shows? Possibly. But I don't think I'll be going back to that one because it's just that the demographic, I'm just not quite interested anymore. I'll do those big spring shows for sure because that's a lot of fun. I like to be busy. I don't like to be bored. When you buy these things throughout your life and it's just a hobby and then people just don't want them, it makes you feel like you just bought a bunch of unwanted stuff that nobody wants. But that's not true. I get a lot of compliments as well. And a lot of other dealers get compliments as well. I do the same thing to everybody. I have full respect for every dealer that's out there as much as I possibly can. And I like to do business with the same guys every show just to show my gratitude. And we just build up a brotherhood. And that's the best thing. You're building up a relationship with dealers. But for right now, like if you were out in the market, you were going to a coin show, what would you buy? What is on your mind? What would you want? Even though silver is rising up closer to 60 right now, gold's sitting at 42, the GSR is around 74. Are you going to be buying metals? Are you going to be buying copper? Are you going to be buying silver? Are you going to be buying gold? Are you going to be buying some numismatics? Are you going to go and get something really old? On these videos, haven't really processed those because, I listen to a lot of my viewers. They say, just keep them in there. That's a good point. I should probably just keep them back in my typeset. I hear it from different spectrums. Some people say, grade those. Some people say, I think grading's a waste of time. Some people say sending your coins to CAC is also a waste of time. Everybody has their own opinions as well. And I totally hear you. I hear you out there. I really do. When I do a video on CAC, the views just aren't quite there. PCGS, I do very well at PCGS. Views just aren't quite there. And when you buy ANX coins, people just don't really want to buy them from you. You really have to be cheap on those. And for examples, like I've seen like old large cents that are graded straight in ANX holders, and I can see the corrosion in it. It makes me wonder, if that were to crack out and send it to PCS, you're going to get a corroded designation. Or say I have a Indian head cent that is graded basically mint state 64 brown, beautiful colors on it. Send it to PCGS, gets questionable color almost every time. What's going on? Are they kind of left or something? I don't know. It makes me think because they're basically in a left state. So they'll always be grading in the same manner as a family or whatever. I get that. So when you get frustrated with all these different things, you're buying a beautiful coin, try to get the best deal you can, send it into PCGS, try and get a good grade, and possibly get a CAC on it. Is it even worth what somebody's going to offer you to make a profit on that? That's kind of the thing. Like, I just got to the point where I just got so frustrated with it. Like, wow, after all of that, waiting for months, I only profited $25 on this coin when I could have gotten more for that. But it seems like the only people that are interested are those guys that want to walk around those tables and flip coins. They buy something from you, flip it to somebody else, and make a couple bucks, and then I end up being the dump guy. And I got tired of playing that game. And that's why I decided I'm not going to do those shows no more. I'm just going to do the big Earl Brown shows. I'm just tired of being the butt end of a joke or whatever, or just being somebody's fall guy. I'm not doing that. I honestly can see through a lot of what has been spoken on YouTube. Anyways, a lot of it's gravitating towards sponsorships and trying to boost and make them more money. I won't do that for myself. I won't monetize myself, and I say what I want to say. And do I take my channel seriously? Not as much as I used to, because if I put myself on a pedestal, it's really going to start to bother me, and I don't want it to be bothered. Okay, I just want to do what I want to do. If I produce content, I produce content. If it's something that people want, then they'll watch it. A lot of my stuff's pretty nichey. Do I feel like I got what it takes? Sometimes, and sometimes I don't. Okay. Do I feel like I'm a genius when it comes to this stuff? Heck yeah, I do. But it's a niche. I mean, who goes out there and finds a silver dollar, talks them down to $80, sends it into grade, and it's worth $8,000? I've done a multitude of coins like that where I graded them out and they're worth a lot more. But the thing is, the varieties, people think they're cool, but they're not going to buy them from you where you can make money. You have to go to heritage auctions. You really need to expand your horizon and sell online. But once you sell online, now there's a transaction. Now you have to pay sales tax on everything, even if you lose money on that sale. If it's cash, it's a whole nother story. You can claim whatever you feel like, as long as you're as honest as possible. And that's what we do. But those are all those things that are just in my head when it comes to coin shows, buying things. And I like to see nice stuff, but a lot of it could be just tables of raw stuff. And you can see the surfaces. They're just, cleaned, and endless amount of cleaning. And yeah. Oh, man. But anyway, today's going to be bench press day. Chest, triceps. If you guys don't know, it's this muscle right there. Tricep. Upper chest, middle chest, lower chest. Okay. I'm not trying to be like a, Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything. I'm just trying to stay young, I guess. Stay virile. That's about all. But, you would think, somebody like me went from being fat to being in good shape, doesn't seem to interest anybody. They want, you see, a 1997 penny that's worth $1 million. Let's go find that penny. Yep, but, they don't care about, finding a coin like this for $600 and apparently it's worth, $1,500, $2,000. But anybody can do something like that. Varieties. Starting things. That's what I like to do. But it's just a hobby. Morgans. Got rolls of Morgans. Probably 1,200, 1,300 ounces of dimes. $50. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the GSR to get to about 65, 60. Okay, somewhere in that range. Maybe silver would have to get to about 80. And gold probably about 46. But still, it's a win. Either way. I can carry a lot more gold in a smaller box than I can having that much silver. And someone said today, why don't you trade some of that gold for silver? I'm like, why? Why? who wants to buy it? I mean, yeah, I've been down this road for over a decade, people. Over a decade. I've had silver for over a decade. There's a 1932 Denver quarter, just laying right on my desk. You can't just buy just gold and silver. You got to move your stuff, your money around. I mean, I'm into Kinross. Like literally, I put $2,500 into Kinross at $4.71 an ounce. It is now at $28. That's 7 times my return. Crazy. Got to have stocks that have dividends. So you have extra money that you can either take as profit or you can reinvest. So when you're older, you have to have dividends. So when you hit about 50 to 55 years old, that gives you a 15 to a 10-year window to build up dividends. So when you actually quit working and you get your retirement portfolio ready, you're making extra dividends. And so if you're bringing in, let's see, an extra $13,500 a year in dividends plus your interest and your gains and your profits, you're making tons of money. I mean, you could be taking home $7,000 to $8,000 a month, which sounds great now, but who knows? By the time I retire, $7,000 or $8,000 probably it can be a drop in the bucket. You never know. I mean, by 2032, Social Security is going to be bankrupt. What are you going to do? Okay, there's a lot of people that have not invested their money. I stick to asset class stocks, real estate, okay, silver and gold, and prize numismatics. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody finds their own path. That is the most important thing I can say. Everybody. If I get excited about an investment and I tell my father about that, then he rebuttals. Okay, then he'd be like, well, look at this one. I'm up 158% in 6 months. Touche. Everybody makes their own path. And my advice to you, anything that you invest your money into, you need to know everything there is about it. If you're a person that doesn't understand the fundamentals of silver, I wouldn't invest into silver. Okay? If you don't understand the fundamentals of gold, I wouldn't invest into that either. If you don't understand anything about Amazon or Google, don't put your money into there. Or any other asset class stock, any portfolio, any IRAs, if you don't understand that ins and out, then don't put your money into it. I don't want you to lose your money. But that's how you do it. Surely and slowly. There's no such thing as a get-rich scheme. You're not going to go out there and find $1 million penny in circulation. Heck, 1943 copper, what is there, like 45 of those known? Crazy, right? Are you going to find a 1969S double die? Okay, maybe 15 to 20 of those known. How about 1992 Close AM? Well, there once was between 10 and 15 known. Now it's possibly 30 to 35 specimens known because in the past 10 years, people found them and graded them and it added to the population. That decreased the value of the coins from 3,000 to 1,500 or so. There are treasures out there. You just got to know where to look. But that's a hobby thing. Okay? Once in a while, you're going to strike a $1,500 coin. But you need something that's going to give you consistent gains. That's why you need to do research and put your money in the right places and have a financial advisor. I do have a financial advisor, but I'm not a financial advisor for you. Okay? I don't want to be sued and say, hey, I lost money because so-and-so said to do this and that. I personally have a financial advisor, and I have started a budget with that, and that really helps me. I know people that have actually never invested money in their life, but they became a millionaire in 45 years or so, just working hard. And they saved half of their earnings, but it took them 45 years to get there. So they're probably in their 60s by the time that happened. Just think about it, folks. In 20 years, $1 million is probably not a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.